Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I think that skilled jobs is something where we can find room in a really divided Congress for bipartisan agreement. But there are a number of very important issues weighing down on the potential there. I serve on the Transportation Infrastructure Committee. It has been one of the least partisan committees during my entire tenure in Congress. And the last major reauthorization was actually authored by Don Young of this committee, Safety Lou, which put millions of people to work over the last decade or so. Unfortunately, the trust fund goes broke in August, and the Ryan budget projects we will cut investment in transportation infrastructure by $52 billion next year. That is, we would eliminate all federal investment in transportation infrastructure, transit, roads, bridges, highways, nothing, zero. Now, you want to talk about a job killer, that's a pretty big job killer, and I hope that we will act differently than the polemic of the Ryan budget, and we'll come together in a bipartisan way to replenish the trust fund and move forward as we have historically. We're also going to touch on the issue of the lack of skilled labor. I was visiting a plant in my district recently, Johnson Crushers, rock crushers. Now, their business isn't great in the U.S. right now because of the uncertainty about the trust fund. Business is actually down. People aren't buying here. They are exporting. Their market's great overseas where other countries are investing in rebuilding their infrastructure and putting millions of people to work around the world and becoming more competitive. So again, back to the problem of the investment. But his second problem is the lack of skilled labor, skilled trades, and many of our high schools have eliminated vocational training because of cuts in budgets. The Congress has cut back on the Perkins Act jobs training programs and other job training programs, and the Ryan budget would pretty much eliminate all federal investment in skilled jobs training. Again, I hope it's just a political polemic and we really aren't going to eliminate all federal investment in both transportation infrastructure and skilled jobs training because people need skills to get these jobs. On a personal level, I give back congressional pay raises to fund scholarships at community colleges for people getting retrained and getting the kinds of skills they need. Welding, one of my first scholarship recipients started a welding business after he got welding skills. Others have gone into other skilled trades. So there are ways to do this, and to try and bring it back to the so-called war on energy or the Koch brothers agenda where they're going state by state to try and kill off renewables. Look, I believe all of the above is a great strategy. And so hopefully, and this committee has not launched an attack on green jobs, unlike the Koch brothers, but, I'm concerned about that. We also, continue to talk about, gee, production's down so much. Actually, the only reason that the oil production is down under the Obama administration is there was something 4 years ago called Macondo that blew up, and we had a 6-month moratorium on deep water drilling in the Gulf. That's been lifted. They're moving ahead. And the same projection that shows that offshore is down on federal over the last 4 years shows a dramatic increase projected for the future, along with the very significant increase that has happened on terrestrial production. Federal plus Indian oil production is up 58% since 2008. 162,000 jobs added in oil and gas, domestic oil up 55%, domestic gas up 19%, federal oil up 29%, coal up 8,000 jobs, 11%, metal ore mining up 36%. There isn't a need for major policy changes in these areas, but there is a need for major policy changes and attention to other areas that could affect the potential for employment. And then finally, job-killing trade policy. This administration is following the same trade policy of Ronald Reagan, George Bush, Bill Clinton, George Bush, now Barack Obama, which is let's export all our skilled labor jobs and manufacturing overseas. Yeah, we will still mine or maybe we'll extract oil here, but we'll send it overseas where they're still running industries. So I would also urge my colleagues to join me in trying to stop the so-called TPP if we want jobs in America. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.